Hey everybody, I have a Fast Dad Friday tip for you this week, and that's to get outside your training box. What do I mean by that? I mean, everybody's kind of got this internal image of what's possible for them. And I'm going to sit here right now and tell you it's wrong. What you think is possible for you, you're capable of a lot more. And so my first example of what I mean by this is the 4-minute mile. When the first person ever ran a 4-minute mile, everybody thought it was impossible. But then within a year, dozens of people have done it. I mean, from the time it happened once till now, it has happened countless times. And all it took was somebody doing what seemed impossible for the world to wake up and go, you know what, maybe this actually isn't that crazy. Another example, what got me first thinking about this topic was watching Mike Woods just absolutely race up Alpe de Zwift when they did the virtual Tour de France a couple months ago. And it's one thing to watch pro cyclists just crushing climbs, and they're riding at a tempo that we can't possibly imagine. What most normal people could only do, most even high-level athletes could only do for like 2 or 3 minutes, and they can climb at that pace repeatedly. But it's one thing to watch it. It's another thing to see, somebody do that output live. And I realize that's the same thing as the 4-minute mile. So I've been Zwift racing a lot, and I gotta admit, I definitely have fallen into that trap over the past couple years. Racing is often in traditional periodization, or even just in a general training schedule, going to be the most important part of your training. It's going to be where you really hone the fitness and you get that last little bit, because there's that unpredictable attack or that guy that just wants to half wheel you a little bit, and you're more motivated to come past him, to push that little bit harder, that little extra bit you're asking of yourself. That's why the racing moves that dial and gets you to that peak form. So you can look at racing from a few different windows. You can say you have my Wednesday night crit, and you have your state level race, you have your regional level race, you have your national level race, you have your international level race. I've been Zwift racing a ton, and you're not just racing regional people, you're racing a global community. There are people from all over the world that are all the best in their community. Just like you go to a national level event, or the first time you ever do a pro race, that level is so much higher. And with Zwift, I've been able to compete against guys like that day in and day out whenever I need it. It's so easy to go overboard with it. It's so easy to not even use that effectively. But if you're using that as a tool instead of just the only thing you do, I mean, I don't Zwift race 5 times a week. I maybe race 4 or 5 times a month. I'll race 2 or 3 times in a week, then I won't race. I'll do something outside. I'll do some workouts, whatever it is. But I'm getting that exposure. I'm putting my foot in the water with guys that are so good, way better than me. And it's pushed me to a level that I honestly never thought was possible. I mean, you look at where I was riding in 2016 versus where I'm riding now, and I mean, you can see the plateau. I've been getting better, but the collection of best efforts that I've had recently because of Zwift has been startling to me. So you're initially going to get there and go, this is crazy. How could I do this? And then all of a sudden you adapt, you train, you rest, and you're riding at that level. My tip this week is to get out of that way of thinking. Don't put yourself in a box. Every time you clip in for a hard workout, say, this is building towards a me that I never even imagined was possible. That me that's there. People like to talk about genetic potential, genetic ceiling, and I mean, yeah, that exists. Okay, sure. There's no denying that eventually everybody would reach some sort of I cannot get any better. But there are so many PRs between where you are now and that genetic potential. You have no possible way of predicting how many steps there are between you now and that limit. You'll never find that limit unless you're working with the best coaches and the best nutrition experts and sleep coaches, and you get the massage every day, and you're really, I mean, that's your whole life. We're not coming close. Yeah, I gotta give Zwift some big credit here, because the thing with Zwift, for me, what it did is it allowed me to think outside of my region. It allowed me to think outside of my country. You look at okay, this is what it takes to be here. This is a reasonably high. If I'm reaching for, call it 5 watts per kilogram, that's one everybody loves. 5 watts per kilogram for 20 minutes. That's going to be a big enough goal. But why does that have to be the cap of what you think? And I mean, I'm guilty as charged. Get yourself out of the box. It doesn't exist. It's all in your head. Push yourself to be the best you've never dreamed of yet. Don't push yourself to be a certain thing. Say that your next goal is just the next goal in the series of endless goals. That's it. Hope this helped. Hit me up if you need a new set of goals. Hit me up if you want me to help optimize your training. I want to help you. I want to direct you towards resources that I've dove into and used my experience to help make you faster. Thanks for checking this out.